I'm not sure when this is going to see the light of day. However, a lot of the intimidation tactics against me are intensifying. And I've realized that many people at home who have witnessed parts of this story haven't seen or understood the entire story. And I've never told the entire story of what they actually did to me. So I feel like perhaps in case something happens to me, or perhaps they'll be successful. It certainly sounds like from the messages I'm getting that something is going to happen pretty soon, that I should just explain from the start of the very beginning of the story all the way to the end what they did to me and what everybody witnessed and what they're trying to do right now. And I think by the time I've done that, and it may take a little while, I'll be able to answer that question a little bit better.
So does this story start with Big Brother 2016 or December 29th, 2022?
This story begins a little bit before December 29th, 2022. And I've got a whiteboard here because it's quite a complicated story I want to explain to everybody. In fact, this story, like all good stories, begins with a beautiful woman, because that's how all stories begin. I was in Dubai with a beautiful girl from Sweden, and she was 6'1" and she was gorgeous. And we were living together in Dubai. And then she said to me, you know, I'm thinking of going back to school. I said, why would you do that? That's the biggest waste of time in the world. She said, no, I want to go back to Stockholm and get a degree. I said, your man is a millionaire. I'm rich. I've retired from my webcam days. I'm living in Dubai. I'm a rich man. Why would you want to go back and do this schooling when you have me? And she said, well, I want to get qualifications and I don't know what else to do. What else is there to do? And I remember sitting across the table from her and I thought, that's a good point. What else is there to do? There is nothing else to do but go and waste your time getting one of these degrees, spending 4 years, spending $300,000. Everybody knows it's a waste of time. But if you can't get the job you want, or you can't get a job that pays a lot of money, nobody knows what else to do. So you just go and you give your money to mainstream education. So when she said that to me, I said, you're right. There is nothing else to do. And I called Tristan and I said, we're going to start a school. He's like, what? I said, we're going to start a school. We're going to start an alternative to traditional education, which everybody knows is a waste of time. We have a huge opportunity here. Everybody knows this particular product is a waste of time. It's extremely expensive and people are being forced to do it because there's no alternative. So let's give everyone an alternative. People want money. They don't want a degree. They don't want to go and study for 4 years. They want money. They want it today. We're going to teach people how to do that. Hustlers University. And we're going to open our own school and it's going to be nice and simple. So I called up a few people I knew. I called up a guy who made money with stock trading, called up a guy I knew who made money with drop shipping, e-com, called up a guy who made money with crypto trading. And I said, look, I'm going to do the big mouth at the front of it. I'm going to use my wealth and my influence to attract people to this school. And you're going to do 5 or 6 hours a day of live calls and convince people and show people how to make money online. We're going to get a Discord server. We're going to attach a Stripe account. Nice and easy. Monthly subscriptions. Split it all up. It's going to be nice and easy. They're all like, yeah, we'll try it. See how it goes. Turns out, because I'm a genius, it was very successful. Within the first week, we had 25,000 paying students. 25,000 students paying $50 a month in a week. We now have a real business. You know, it's kind of interesting. We're here in Los Angeles right now, and I asked you to do this podcast. And while we're here, it's the Milken Conference. And I'm talking to a lot of people who own these fintech companies, these ed tech companies. They could never, in a million years, there's no technology company that can start day one, no cash raise, no debt, giving away no equity, just us without raising a single penny. All of a sudden, we have 25,000 students paying $50 a month. We're turning over, whatever that is, $2, $3, $4 million a month at 80% margin. From day one, we're an ultra profitable company. At a 10 or 15x multiplier, we're a $300 or $400 million business on day one. So everything is going pretty well. Everything's going swimmingly. I'm promoting this school. The girls moved to Sweden. Don't care about her anymore. I'm buying more Lamborghinis. Me and the professors are all making money. Everything is going well. These are the days of 2020, 2021. People remember me on the internet. I was more of a fringe internet celebrity. And I was telling people the truth. I wasn't scamming anyone. I was saying to the young men, if you want to make money, I'll teach you how to make money. But what I didn't realize is that I was getting into a war with big education. And big education, very much like big pharma, don't like when you take their money away. So as my school grows, as I promote it, and off the top of my head, if I use ninja memory, I had around 36,000 students at this point. I got an offer And I'm going to write some things down because at the end of this, I want everything to make sense. And it was a sponsorship offer. So I'm going to write down sponsorship. I got approached, and I'm going to leave out certain names just in case I do manage to get out of this mess. I got approached not to buy my company off of me, which is what I thought the offer was initially. I thought I was going to sell out for 400M. I started a company 9 months later, 400M, nice and easy, right? Because people are buying technology companies that are in debt. People are buying technology companies that don't make money. People are buying technology companies that are running at a loss. I'm running at 80% margin doing millions of dollars a week. But no, instead they said, we want to sponsor you personally, Andrew. And we want you to shut up about certain things, not push the school, not say certain things, instead have certain opinions on certain topics. And in return, we're going to give you $50 million. It was a 3-year contract, $50 million. I sat there and thought, 16, 17 million a year, I'm making that already. And I get to say whatever I want. So I don't really want your sponsorship contract because it comes with all these rules. You're trying to tell me what to say. Maybe I'm, Jack, maybe I'm stupid. But I thought, what's the point in having money if you can't say what you want? Women can't drive. Sorry. It's the truth. And I'm going to say it. So I said, I'm not that interested. Thank you very much. And they said, but we have the best PR teams. So if anything bad ever comes out or anything negative is said about you in the press, our PR teams can help with that. I said, well, I don't need a PR team. At this point, I'm a fringe internet celebrity, right? I'm not in the mainstream media. I don't care about your PR team. And they said, and we have the best legal teams. So if you ever get any trouble to protect our investment into you, we're going to make sure you have the best legal counsel. I said, I'm not in any trouble. I haven't done anything wrong. So why do I need this legal protection either? I was unaware at the time in my ignorance that those were threats. They were saying that our PR teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. And our legal teams, which could help you, could also wreck you. They were veiled threats. I didn't understand that. So I declined their sponsorship offer.
What was the industry?
It was a conglomerate, and they had significant interest in, let's say, clothing, perfumes, the standard things you'd expect a Hollywood A-lister to be pushing on a billboard. Standard, normal stuff. And then those people are very careful about what they say on certain subjects, for sure. But I thought, I don't really want to be owned, and this school's going somewhere. We gain students every single day. I am going to take down the education industry. Me, Andrew Tate, one guy in Romania in his house. Me and my 6 friends on a Telegram chat are running a $400 million business. I'm going to take it all down. I don't need your money. Don't tell me what to say. I'm the top G. Go away. So I declined the sponsorship contract. They kept reminding me about these PR teams, these legal teams. So why do they keep saying this to me? I don't need PR. I don't need a lawyer. And they must have sat there and thought, this idiot doesn't understand what we're saying. So I declined the sponsorship contract. We continue to grow. A few months after that, Tristan gets a message from a girl. Can't say her name because there's open litigation. We'll call her Girl A. Girl, she's the beginning. She's the omega. She's the source of this. Girl A lives in Miami. Tristan knew her from a few years before. And she messages Tristan, hey, I want to come see you in Romania. Tristan's like, why? I've always wanted to see you in Romania. Tristan's like, okay then. And sends her a picture of his debit card and said, see you soon. She books herself a first-class flight, flies to Romania. So we have Girl A. All of this will tie together at the end. Girl A. Girl A books herself a business class flight and flies to Romania. Now, the interesting thing about Girl A, who subsequently destroyed my life, I only said hello to her twice. I don't know this person. Tristan knows a lot of girls. One day there's a girl at the house. Who's this? Oh, I knew her from Miami. She wanted to come. Cool. I don't care. Why would I care? Hi. Whatever. She's there for 4 or 5 days. During those 5 days that she's in Romania for 5 days. 3 of the days, Tristan and I weren't even in the country. We were away. England, I believe. The rest of the time, she's going to the cinema, hanging out with Tristan's other girlfriends, hanging out with my girlfriends, hanging out with our personal assistant, Georgiana, who ends up going to jail, hanging out. And after about 5 or 6 days, she vanished. And I said to Tristan, where's Girl A gone? He goes, I don't know. She blocked me and left. It's like, why? He goes, probably got jealous of my other girlfriends. Yeah, probably. Who cares, right? We're just guys. We're making money. We go to school. We got a big mansion. We got Lamborghinis. Girl A wants to come. Girls always want to come. There's 100 girls by the pool. Who cares? Girl A comes. Girl A vanishes. No one thinks anything of it. About 3 days after Girl A vanished, April of 2022, we were sitting in our house at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon when armed police turn up, SWAT. And the SWAT raid our house, bust down our door, and running with machine guns, pointing weapons everywhere and yelling at us to get on the ground. And of course we comply and say that they're there because there has been a human trafficking allegation against my brother and I, which has been instigated from the American embassy. So they didn't just send the normal police, they sent the anti-terror police, because when the American embassy calls the police, it's a different kind of response. If you're a normal person in Romania and you call the police, they'll send a police car or a guy. No, this was the full army tanks, 30 dudes, head-to-toe SWAT.
Did you have security at this time?
We did have security. At this time, it wasn't to the point that we currently have security. We just had like a guy who watched. But they put MP5s in his face. He was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, my paycheck is my paycheck, but what's all this? So these guys bust in April of 2022. Please find and play the clips of our first ever arrest, because that's what I'm talking about. Our first one. They say, we're here for human trafficking and kidnapping. We're like, with all due respect, officer, what the fuck are you talking about? And they said, Girl A has reported to the American embassy that there are kidnap victims and victims of human trafficking in this residence. I turned to Tristan and I said, Tristan, she's a 7. Look all the best you got us in. She's not even a 9. She's a 7. Tristan laughs. I laugh. The police officer laughs. Everyone laughs. They look around the house. The house was completely empty. It was just Tristan and I there. No victims. We'd had no friends there. No girls. No one's there. They searched the entire house for drugs. They looked for drugs because Girl A also reported us for being drug dealers and steroid abusers. All this list of crimes. They find no drugs. They find no steroids. They find no contraband of any kind. Our firearms are licensed. So that's not against the law. They go through the entire house in a 4-hour house search. They then seize some of our goods. I'm going to go into seized goods later. They take all the cash they can find, all of our diamond watches, our bars of gold. They left the cars at this point, but they took anything valuable we had laying around, watches, gold, jewelry, this kind of thing. I don't know why, but they did. So now we have the assets.
What's your estimate on the number of assets taken on that one?
Well, there was a lot of house raids, but on that particular house raid, I'd say all in all, in cash, about 100 grand. And in watches, about 500 grand. So about 600 grand of assets in the first raid. But no bank accounts, no crypto exchanges, no cars, just things they had laying around the house. I explained why they had to do that. They said it's protocol in Romania, in case these proven to be proceeds of crime. It's like crime. There's not even a girl in this house. Who have I kidnapped? They're like, yeah, you know, we're just responding to the American embassy. We don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. We're just the muscle. You have to go talk to the detective. The detective's in the office at DCOT. I said, who the fuck are DCOT? Never heard of DCOT before. Turns out they'd be my best friends later on. He goes, yeah, there's a guy at DCOT office waiting for you. We just have to come here, search for victims, take the money. We're the muscle. So after searching our entire house for 5 or 6 hours, the media is now outside at this point. So there will be video of this. They put us in cars. Media's outside saying human trafficking investigation, all this stuff. They start to slander our name with all this garbage. And they drive us to DCOT's head office. We get there around 11 p.m. House raid began at 1 p.m., in the afternoon. 11 p.m., we walk into this office and there's a prosecutor. We sit down. The prosecutor says, why did this girl say there was girls kidnapped in your house? And I said, brother, I haven't got a fucking clue. I only said hello to her twice. Ask Tristan. It's Tristan's girlfriend. I don't know. And then the prosecutor goes, well, Tristan should have bought her a handbag, and laughed. And then I laughed. And we all laughed. And I was like, American girls are crazy, bro. Me too. This crap happens. Maybe in Romania it's not a big thing, but in America happens all the time. These girls are nuts. They just make stuff up. He goes, yeah, I heard about that, but I didn't know it was actually this bad. I was like, tell me about it. He goes, why did she call the American embassy? I was like, bro, I don't know. Just tell me what you need from me. You've been to the house. There's no one in the house. We have CCTV in our house. You can take the cameras and see her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting pizza, going out to party, going to restaurants. You can see it all on camera. Please also find the clip of her walking in and out the house by her own free will, getting Ubers, getting taxis, ordering food, ordering Amazon packages, everything on Tristan's credit card, by the way. It's all there. So we're here. Take the cameras. Look, do what you got to do, bro. He's like, okay, go home. Cool. So after about an hour and a half of interview, midnight, we go home. Tristan and I sit around the pool laughing. Like, this girl A is crazy. We've lost some money, but this is a big misunderstanding, Jack. Like, we haven't done anything. This is all a misunderstanding. Let's just get back to what we do best, which is focus on promoting our school. Right? So we're on our emergency meeting podcast. We're traveling the world at that point. We have no restrictions of any kind. We're promoting our school. We're going to France. We're going to Italy. We see Dan Bilzerian in France. We're traveling around. We're doing all this stuff. We're having a great time. We're on yachts in Croatia. We're doing all this crazy stuff. And then one day, I call my lawyer and I say, they raided our house in April. It's like July now. Why is that case not closed? And he goes, this is Romania. Everything takes forever. It's a slow system. They're probably going through the CCTV. I was like, yeah, but this is so open and shut. My lawyer's called Alain. I'm like, Alain, this is so open and shut. What could they possibly be doing? He goes, yeah, it's Romania. They probably have to go through all the hours of footage. It's going to take a while. Don't sweat it. I'm like, I had this bad feeling. But what can you do, right? I haven't done anything wrong. So we're still traveling. And now, because of the school, because I'm promoting the school so heavily, I start moving from fringe internet celebrity to mainstream celebrity. I start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think at the beginning of this story, my Instagram had 100,000 followers. By this point, I'm up to like 2 or 3 million. It's getting bigger and bigger. Back when Instagram mattered, not like now. So we're pushing the school, having a nice time. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was sitting in my cigar room, smoking a cigar. My girlfriend comes in and goes, have you seen this? She passes me her phone. I take her phone, and it's a picture of me, and there's some blurb underneath it about how I'm toxically masculine, I'm a misogynist, a racist, and a homophobe. And I am the reason that the entire culture of the world is wrong. Cancer's my fault. Everything in the world's my fault. I'm the world's worst man, and I'm dangerous and need to be deleted from the internet. And it's on an NGO page for a charity protecting the rights of gays. Well, that's weird. Whatever. And then she goes, and have you seen this? And she scrolls again, and it's the same picture with the same blurb explaining that I'm the worst man in the world. Copy and paste, exact one, on an NGO about wildlife protection. It's like, that is weird. So we open Instagram. I open it on my phone, and this exact picture with the exact same copy and paste wording, I find like 7 different accounts, random accounts for random charities and NGOs, posting that I'm the worst person in the world. Now, for anyone watching this, the media does not tell you what has happened. The media's primary objective is to prepare you for what is about to happen. They need to condition your mind so that when they do something, you're ready for it. If they instantly say, you're locked in your house, you can't go outside, there's a revolution. If the media constantly reports about how dangerous it is, how a lockdown might need to happen, how it's unfortunate, but we must prepare for the possibility of a lockdown. Over weeks, your mind softens to the idea. So when the lockdown comes, there's no revolution.
It's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
What were your comment section? What was your comment section like at that time, too?
Well, everyone loved me on my account, but on these accounts where they posted this, there's thousands of people saying, yeah, he's scum, he's scum, he's scum. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I made some jokes. Yes, I said women can't drive. Yes, I said some things, but I mean, I'm not blowing up girls' schools in Iran. Like, come on.
Triple tap.
Triple tap. So I was like, this is a bit out of control. They're conditioning the world for what's about to happen. Now, around this time, someone inside of my school said, we should start an affiliate marketing campus. And I said, that's a good idea. And we started with Amazon products because it's our job to teach all the people inside of our school how to make money online. You're a young man, you join our school, you pay a monthly subscription, and you start earning money same day. And one of the students said, I take affiliate links from Amazon. What I do is I go onto Amazon, I find a lawnmower, I take an affiliate link for that lawnmower, then I buy the lawnmower, and then I use the lawnmower or do lawnmower reviews on TikTok. And then I say, here's the lawnmower I'm using, and I put the link. And every time someone buys the lawnmower, I get paid. Well, that's a great idea. So we got a new professor, a guy I knew, who was in charge of affiliate marketing. And he started doing 4 or 5 hours of calls a day, pushing affiliate marketing. And then a student said, hey, why don't we affiliate market for the school? So that's a good idea. He goes, yeah, the school's great. So why can't I tell other people to join the school from my link and I get paid when they join? So that's another fantastic idea. Why not? So we launched an affiliate marketing campus for the school. And then the problem we were having is a lot of our students are from all over the world, right? So if you're a teenager from Peru and you say, hello, I have joined the school, I make so much money. Everyone's like, yeah, all right, scam, whatever, bro. But people trusted me. So people would say, hey, I don't want to use my own videos. I don't want to use any videos of me. I want to use videos of you, launch a Tate fan page, and then sell with my affiliate link. And I said, fine by me. Now, this was revolutionary at the time. Me, my cousin, when we came up with the affiliate marketing campus, we invented clipping. We ruined the internet. That's how the internet became what it is today. And that was the basic premise behind it. We're not going to copyright strike you. Back then, if someone took your content, you copyrighted it. Not us. Take our content. Take the views money. So people were taking videos of me, posting on their channel, earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in views money, keeping that, plus selling the school and getting paid off that. So everyone was getting rich. And the school starts to explode. Gets up to 271,000 students. I don't want to do the math off the top of my head at around $50 a month. Yeah, 13, 14, $15 million. I was probably keeping between 9 and 10 million American dollars every single month.
And how many times were you banned at this point?
I'm not banned.
You've never been banned?
At this point, I haven't been banned.
Okay.
I haven't been banned. So the affiliate marketing campus is running. But all this NGO stuff starts. And I know how the world works, so I knew they were conditioning people's minds for something. And a perfect example of this, I want everyone at home to understand exactly what I'm saying. Before they got Diddy, they released the tape of him beating up Cassie. That tape of him beating up Cassie in the hotel was 10 years old at the time they released it. They've been sitting on it for a decade. Why was it never released? Because they didn't want to get him. When they wanted to get him, they then released it, so everyone said Diddy's a piece of shit. So when he got arrested, everyone thought he was already guilty. They knew they were going to arrest him, so they prepared the public for his arrest. So when I saw these NGOs, I was like, they're preparing for something. What are they preparing for? Tristan's like, who gives a shit? Tristan's the optimist in this story. He always has been the whole way through. Who gives a shit? We're fucking rich. We're helping young men how to make money. All of our students make more money than professors, than their teachers. We're doing good in the world. We're teaching young men how to escape the matrix and make money. You're making $10 million a month. We ain't doing nothing wrong. We haven't done anything. Who gives a fuck about what some wildlife or some fucking bullshit homosexual NGO has to say about us? They're just bitter and they're just jealous, haters. Fuck them. Lights a cigar. Tristan. Like, maybe you're right, T. Maybe it doesn't matter. But there was a problem. And the reason I think the NGOs attacked me is because there was a flaw in our master plan. And the flaw in our master plan is that we were working with a mercenary army. So now we have the affiliates, which are linked to the school, Hustlers University. Because the affiliates worked out that they make the most money if they put up the most controversial clips of me. Because if you put up the clip, not the whole clip, where I say in bed that if a girl picks up a machete and tries to attack me, I will take the machete off her, put it in her face and say, shut up, bitch. No, not the whole clip. They take the last part, put a machete in a girl's face and say, shut up, bitch. Only that part. And post that, because that gets the most engagement. That goes the most viral. They get the most sales. And they're mercenaries. They're in it for the money, these students. So in many ways, they're making me look bad. And I say to Tristan, students are making me look kind of bad here, the way they're putting all this stuff out. And Tristan's like, who gives a shit? You're cool. We're making $10 million a month. Who gives a fuck? Bad guy, good guy, what does it matter? So when all of this is going on, the NGOs pop up. And from then on out, from that exact moment, Jack, I knew I was fucked. I just knew I was fucked. But I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. This is in August of 2022. 3 days later, I wake up and my girlfriend wakes me up next to me. Andrew. I'm like, whoa, what? Look at this. Gives me her phone and there's a BBC News article. Andrew Tate, misogynistic influencer, is banned from social media for being a dangerous person. Back then, now bans are a common thing. Everyone's desensitized to it. Back then, the only people who had been blanket banned on the internet were Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes. I was number 3. And I was bigger than them. And by this point, I had become, in 2022, because of the affiliate army, the most Googled man on the planet. My mercenary army grew to 28,000 fan pages, posting endless Tate content. Do you remember the days where you couldn't get rid of me? You couldn't get rid of me from the algo. I was TikTok, I was Instagram, I was everywhere. 28,000 kids posting me all day, every day. We built an interactive library of everything I'd ever made. It was all transcribed. So when you went into the interactive library, you'd type Bugatti, every Bugatti clip would come up. You'd type heartbreak. Every time I'd ever said heartbreak in any video, because they were transcribed, it would come up. You could make lifestyle edits, and they'd take it all, and they'd post it, post. And if their account got banned, because they're from Peru, and they're making $300 a day affiliate, they're not going to go get a job for $300 a month. They just make a new one. Like a virus, like Agent Smith in The Matrix, like ants. You can't kill them. And they're just out there posting. And then they realize they make the most money if they post my most controversial stuff. And my most controversial stuff is out there by 28,000 fan accounts posting 4 or 5 times an hour. And the entire algorithm is mine. And this may be the most Googled man on planet Earth. My school's now at 300,000 students. $15 million turnover a month. 15 million times 12 is 15 times 10, 150. Plus the 30 is 180 million turnover at 80% margin, a 10x multiply, which is pretty simple for an ed tech business, especially with a margin like mine. $1 billion business, 1.2 billion, 9 months old, me and 6 dudes in the Telegram chat. I'm a billionaire. And I open up this BBC article on my girlfriend's phone, and it said that my views have become so destructive and I'm doing so much damage to the planet and to the consciousness of young men that I have to be removed from all social media. This was on her phone. I was like, well, that's inconvenient that they've deleted me everywhere. I was like, let me have a coffee. So I put the phone down. I went to get a coffee. And as I was walking to get coffee, I opened up my phone. When I opened my phone, it said, your Apple ID is signed out. Well, that's weird. Okay. Went to click Twitter. Your Twitter's signed out. Clicked WhatsApp. Your WhatsApp's been deleted. Clicked Instagram. Of course, signed out. Clicked Gmail. Signed out. They pressed a button, Jack, and wiped every single thing from my phone. The Apple ID itself, so I couldn't download apps, and every single application was logged out. Uber, Airbnb, Skype, any app on my phone, all of them were gone.
Coinbase?
Everything. Every single app. All of my bank accounts, Coinbase. I had a NatWest and a HSBC bank in England. They seized all that money. We'll talk about that soon. Everything was frozen. Everything was gone. My entire phone just became a brick. And I called a friend of mine from my girlfriend's phone. I said, how the fuck can they do this? And he said, they put you on a terror watch list. They can only do that if you're on a terror watch list. And I was like, surely not terror. The fuck? I'll call you back. Here I film my final message.
All that's left for me to do is have a positive impact on the world. I don't think anybody truly wants to go down as a villain. Maybe some people do. I don't. I wasn't raised that way.
I sit down on the chair and I give my final message to the world. I decided to retire from the internet. I thought, you know what, Andrew? You made $100 million. You got $1 billion business. They're after you. You're starting to feel a bit paranoid. It's getting hot. You have a very credible source telling you you're on a terror watch list. Once you're on a terror watch list, all bets are off. There's no more law. There's no more Constitution. All that's gone. They can shoot you in the middle of the street. Police can come up and just shoot you and go, terrorist threat. End of story. And the basic premise was that I had so much power over the young men in 2022 that I could have caused a revolution. They're probably right. I probably could have said, fuck the Matrix, Westminster Palace tonight. Let's take over. And it would have been the fucking end. Please understand, the Matrix does not fear women. This is why they empower women. This is why they constantly attack me for being a misogynist. They want women to be as powerful as possible because you know what happens when women are powerful? Nothing. If women protest, if 100,000 women march through this town right now and protest, it's inconvenient. If 100,000 men march through this town, everything burns and the entire government changes. Men can fight. Men are armies. Women don't matter. They don't give a shit if women protest. They don't give a fuck. So you want women at the top of the pyramid. You want women as powerful as possible so that women are in charge of society so that you can just stay at the top of your castle stealing and raping and pillaging from everybody. Just stealing all the money, destroying society, importing whoever, breaking all the laws. And what's going to happen? A bunch of women are going to nag. Give a fuck. When men get together, it's not called a protest. It's called a revolution. Women don't do revolutions. They can't. So they deliberately empower women to subjugate men. That's why masculinity has been under such attack. And I came along and was the most Googled man in the world promoting masculinity, not realizing this was putting me at war against the Matrix itself. I wasn't even political at that time. I didn't even talk about political parties. I just said to young men, stand up for yourself, go to the gym, stick for what you believe in. You're allowed an opinion. You matter too. And that was considered so dangerous. I ended up on a terror watch list and they wiped my entire phone. And the country that put me on a terror watch list, do you want to guess?
US.
Incorrect, sir. England. Great Britain put me on a terror watch list. The Foreign Office, in the paperwork I later saw, which they wrote to the Romanians, said, he is an unchecked source of influence. And they believed I was going to cause a revolution. Now, anybody at home who thinks that the intelligence agencies that are here to protect and serve us aren't primarily concerned with preventing a revolution is a fool. The CIA, the FBI, MI6, MI5, whoever, they don't care about much besides two things. Stealing money from around the world in the form of resources. There's a country here, Gambia. If we overthrow the president and put in a new president, we get control of the copper mines. Fuck democracy. Fuck who dies. We want copper because this is the American empire. Overthrow the Gambian government. Or I don't know, imagine there's oil in some random country, Venezuela. Who gives a shit? That's what they do. And the second thing they have a concern with, besides stealing money from all around the world, is preventing revolution. The primary objective of intelligence agencies today is to prevent a revolution. Do you think when you walk down the street and talk to basically anybody out here, they don't want to rebel? The system's fucked, bro. We all know the system's fucked. Nobody can buy a house. Everything's fucked. Crime's getting worse. Taxes are going up. Currency's inflating. Everything's fucked. Everyone knows it, but we don't rebel. Why? Because there are many mechanisms, social media algorithms being one. Two, how hard they punish the people who even consider doing something as silly as waving a flag outside the Capitol. Their primary objective is to prevent a revolution. And they said the most Googled man on the planet now, who's saying young men should stand up for themselves and not be afraid to die for their ideas, the most popular person on the planet, is talking about how the Matrix is enslaving them all, how they need to resist, break free. They watched my videos, MI6, and they thought, this is a national security threat. He's on the same level as Osama bin Laden. And that was the UK government.
Why?
That is when my phone got wiped.
Why the UK? What's the most important thing we need to understand about UK politics at that point in time?
The UK has always been more left than even the Dems. And at the time, the Dems were in power when all this was happening. Please remember, guys, when all of this was happening, you got banned on the internet for saying there was more than two genders. They ban you. You got banned for saying the COVID vaccine was dangerous. They ban you. The internet was complete Stasi. Now, why couldn't they just ban me? Well, they did. But why didn't it work?
Clipping.
28,000 fan pages. So when I made, and I think another reason to answer your question, why the UK decided I was the threat, is because although I am born American, I grew up in England. I'm seen as English. I'm from Luton. And I was bigger in England than I ever was in America.
Really?
The English people were really tired of their government, and they still are. So when I make my final message, I talked to Tristan. I said, enough is enough. We've done well. Tristan goes, we can do more. I said, Tristan, have you ever heard the story, the sword of Damocles? And he said, yes. And I recited the story to him about how there was a king once in a chair, and the slave walked in and said, how does it feel to be in that chair? How does it feel to be the king? All these beautiful women are feeding you grapes, and everyone's fanning you, and you give an order, and everyone does whatever you say. It must be so amazing to be the king. And he said to the slave, tomorrow you get to be the king. Tomorrow you can sit in this king's chair, and I'll be the slave. And the slave is so excited, he goes home, he can't sleep. He wakes up the next day, so excited, he runs into the chamber, sits on the throne, he gets to be the king. The beautiful women start giving him the grapes. He's giving orders, do this, do that, bring me this, bring me that. They're doing everything he says. He feels so happy. And then he looks up above him and he sees a sword hanging by a single horse's hair. And for the rest of the day, he can't enjoy his life because he knows at any moment that hair can break and the sword will fall on his head and he will die. And the king who has taken his place, who's the slave, looks above him. He has no sword. He has a humble life, but he has no sword above his head. So when you're at this stage, when you're the most Googled man in the world, you're making all this money, but everyone's out to get you. Everyone else is like, I'd love to be the king. Everyone says it. I'd love to be as famous as you. You're the most famous man alive. I walk through Beverly Hills and more people come up to me than DiCaprio. They swarm me. They don't swarm the A-listers. They don't swarm the movie stars. They don't care. They all swarm me. I was like, that must be cool. Yeah, but there's a sword above my head. I tell Tristan the story. I explain to him the sword of Damocles. He likes his cigar. Doesn't give a fuck. It's Tristan. I said, fuck him. Then I said, what about the story of Icarus? Remember the man who flew too close to the sun, Tristan? Again, keeps puffing on his cigar. Andrew, fuck these people. And I love Tristan with all my heart. And the best thing about our relationship is that we listen to each other. And I said, if you say fuck him, if you say it's war, it's war. He goes, it's war. So I fucking let's run it then. So I was the one saying, let me do a final message and go away. And Tristan was like, no. We've just gotten started. So I do my final message. I explain that I misunderstood. That little clips have been taken out of context. That I'm a nice guy. That I'm just trying to teach the world entrepreneurship. I haven't really done anything wrong. I said women can't park. They can't. Get over it. Final message goes out. 28,000 fan accounts jump on the final message. I'm getting more views than the BBC. And for the first time in history, they banned someone and he got bigger. When they banned Alex Jones, he went away. When they banned Nick Fuentes, he disappeared to the corners of the internet, the fringe corners of the internet. But when they banned me, I got bigger. I didn't get smaller. I got bigger. And you get 3 lives per your question. First, they try and shut you up. Second, they try and put you in jail. Third, they try and kill you. So when I noticed I was getting bigger and my school's getting more and more and more students, I'm making millions of dollars a day, Jack. I go to sleep and wake up with $2 million new dollars. It was ridiculous. I said to Tristan, something's going to happen. We have to get out of here. The day I said that to him, we were sitting around talking about it, and by coincidence, by providence, I do like to believe that perhaps I live in the Truman Show. A man comes to my house, a Romanian guy. I'm not going to say names. I need to talk to you. I said, brother, I'm busy. Not today. I said, it's important. He's an important man in Romania. So okay, come. Comes, we sit down in my secure room, and he said, you need to buy some land. I'm like, bro, what? He goes, you need to buy some land. He gets out this map, and he goes, there's some land here. It's $7 million, and you should buy it. And I said, why should I buy it? This is 2 hours by dirt bike to reach this land. It's not even near a road. There's no electricity. There's no water. I can't build anything here. I'm going to have to get an ATV and drive all day to even reach this land. It's in the middle of the Carpathians. What do I want to do with this? So my dad was given it after the fall of communism, and he wants to sell it for $7 million. You should buy it. And I said, well, I don't have time. I don't want it. He said, you're going to need the friends. I said, why am I going to need the friends? I have friends in Romania. without incriminating myself. I have friends. He said, there's a lot of conversation about you in Romania, in the power structures right now. And I think you're going to need the friends. And my stupid ass, even though I knew it was a shakedown, thought it was about all the news coverage of my deletion. I was like, well, the BBC is saying I'm a horrible person and I live in Romania and they deleted me from social media. And now my final message has gone out and it's on 28,000 fan accounts and I'm the talk of the town and all this is going on. So of course some high-level Romanians have fucking spoke some shit about me and now they're trying to shake me down. This is all gay. I'm like, bro, I'll let you know. I'll get back to you in a few days. He left and I said to Tristan, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's just go. He goes, where? I said, Dubai. Dubai's a pretty stable place. You don't get shot by accident in Dubai. I was like, Tristan, I know you're saying fuck them. I can feel the heat. Something's going on. Let's just go to Dubai a little while. He goes, fuck it. Let's go to Dubai. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Cool. Big private jet. All the girlfriends on the jet. All the babies, all the baby mamas, 30 women, fucking me, Tristan, like a easy jet flight full of chicks. We go to Dubai. Go to some big, beautiful house. Put the clips in of that house with the Bugatti outside. Georgiana's with us. She's driving the Bugatti outside that big, beautiful house in Emirates Hills. $250,000 a week. Chump change. We're rich. 250 grand a week in rent. Shisha, having a great time. Did my first podcast with the Nelk Boys and Bradley Martin in that house. Zuby, I did a podcast with Zuby. And during all these podcasts, I could feel the heat. Rob Moore, my first Rob Moore. When I was in Dubai, I'm the biggest thing in the world. Everyone's saying, can we do a podcast? Can we do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, sure. Everyone's flying to Dubai to talk to me. And I'm saying in all these podcasts, you get 3 lives. And if they ever try and put me in jail for something I didn't do, I hope everyone at home is smart enough to understand it is a setup. I said that verbatim. Please play the clips of me saying that verbatim on repeat in Dubai after all of this has happened. After about a month in Dubai, I'm sitting there and I'm like, Tristan, I still feel uneasy. And he goes, why? We've made it. And I remember him. I remember the gesture. He goes, we've made it, and does this. And he gestures his hand over at a pool behind our $45 million house filled with women. Because we made it, bro. And I was like, 35 years old. I had like $30 million maybe. Now I've got hundreds of millions of dollars, which I've made inside of a single year. You can't just make it like that. Life can't be that easy. It was a fucking few of my friends and me, teaching people. It wasn't a scam. The reason it worked is because it worked. If it was a scam, it never would have took off. It took off because we were teaching kids to actually make money. Everyone's making money. I'm the most popular man on the planet. Everyone loves me. I'm top G. I'm famous. I've got hundreds of millions of dollars. I've got this big house in Dubai. I've got beautiful women. I've got kids, everything. I'm like, have I won? She's like, yeah, we won. It's over. We won. Like, it can't be that easy. He goes, I think we won. So we're in Dubai for about 2 or 3 months. I'm doing viral clips. I did the clips with Aiden. Aiden came out there, did the podcast with Aiden where I had the robe on and he's sitting there and I'm doing all these things. We're in Dubai. And then one day we get a phone call from Piers Morgan's team. You're a cultural force and we want to talk to you. I was like, Tristan, see, I told you, here's the setup. I told you they want us to go to England. They're going to arrest us. We're on a terror watch list in England. Tristan's like, stop being a pussy, bro. It's Piers Morgan. He's a bitch. I'm like, no, but if we go to England, they're going to fucking arrest us. He goes, are you scared of Piers Morgan? I'm like, no, fuck Piers. And he goes, okay, but when you go on there, just be a little bit calmer. Because my first Piers Morgan, I didn't beef him. He goes, this is probably a test. They just want to see, like, if you're really a terrorist. Go on there, be a bit calmer, be a bit nicer, explain the truth, explain that you're a nice guy. Don't let anyone think you're a danger. Go on there. And if you watch my first Piers Morgan, I'm a lot calmer. I'm a lot more like, I deliberately decided not to go there and be top G. To be a lot more understandable as a human. So Tristan convinces me that the British state just wants to make sure I'm a sensible, rational actor. So we leave our phones, we leave our laptops, we leave everything sensitive in Dubai. We get on a private jet with a small suitcase and we fly to England. And as the plane was coming down into London Heathrow Airport, I said to Tristan, they're going to arrest us when we land. He goes, we'll see. We land, straight through. Straight through, no problems. Did the podcast with Piers Morgan. I deliberately let him clown on me a little bit. Like, I'm just a guy. I'm just an idiot. I have some ideas, and I believe men are people too, and men should be able to stick up for themselves, and that we live in a gynocracy, and that it's all misandric, and that men are getting destroyed, and women have all the power. But I believe that men are human as well, and that men are allowed rights. And he came at me saying, I'm a misogynist, I'm this, you're a terrible person, you're Hitler, all this shit. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I don't think so. Really nice, really calm.
Is this November, roughly?
This is December of 2022.
Okay.
Just before Christmas. And I do the Piers Morgan show, and the reception is fantastic. All the comments under that show are 100% on my side. Piers Morgan gets completely fucking slated for being a dickhead to me. Everyone loved me. I go to Sloane Street. I buy $300,000 of Christmas presents for all my girlfriends, all the kids, all my baby mamas, whatever. I'm running around with security, just walking into Harrods, buying. I didn't know what the price of fucking anything was, Jack. Money had lost value. Even billionaires don't have 350 million liquid. The fuck? I'm just beep, 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 beep. Bags of shit. 4 security guys carrying all my shit. Beep, beep, beep. Finished in London. I did the Pearl podcast where I sat down with Pearl. I don't know if you ever saw that. And I sat down with all the girls, and it was Brittany, what's her name? Can't remember. She's known for being a bit promiscuous, and she was on the podcast. And I was really nice to her. I offered her a tangerine, and it was a nice time. And then I said to Tristan, I'm sorry. You're right. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. England is supposed to be the ones who put us on the terror watch list. I'm here in England. Nothing's happening. I'm spending all this money. No one gives a shit. I just did Piers Morgan. It's fine. Everything's fine. Maybe it's all wrong. Maybe we should go home. And then Tristan turns around to me. He goes, no, if we go back to Romania, you're going to be fucking panicking and you're going to be worried. And I want you to have a nice free life. So let's go back to Dubai and just chill a little bit longer. All right, cool. And then Tristan goes, but before we go to Dubai, I want to repack my suitcase and we need to drop all these presents off because we have $300,000 of shopping. We have 2 cars of bags. He goes, let's go to Romania, drop the bags off, and then go to Dubai. It's like, good idea. So we land at 9 p.m. in Romania, straight off the plane, no problems. All the bags in the house, all the bags in the car. And we're due to take off at 6 a.m. We go to sleep. And at 4 a.m. that morning is the video the entire world saw when they raided our house again and they dragged us out for human trafficking. They searched the house. They took all the cars and they started going through everything. That's the video everyone saw. That's where we are in the timeline. When they busted that door open, Jack, at 4 a.m. for the second raid after we had landed, when I heard the door go. I reached across and grabbed that famous machete from that machete video. And I picked it up and I stood up in my underwear. And when I saw the door to my bedroom bust off the hinges and police ran in, I felt relieved. I thought it was the Serbs, the Albanians. I have enemies everywhere. Turks. I thought it was the other team. When I saw police and they pointed the gun at me, I was like, oh, thank God. Just you fucking guys. What the fuck do you want? Because I had held a machete. The fucking guy runs up and front kicks me across the fucking room. Thank God his gun didn't go off. They jump all over me. The girl who's in my bed, they jump all over her. And while I'm on the ground, while the guards with the guns, with the fucking SWAT, have got their knees on my back, while I'm on the ground in my fucking bedroom, you know what the first thing they said to me was? Where's the Bugatti? I swear to God. I was like, what the fuck? What? This is about my Bugatti? What? Because before that, and please play the clips, I was driving around Romania in my Bugatti. I flew my Bugatti from Dubai to Romania and I was driving around Romania. But when I flew back to Dubai, because of the heat, I'd flown the car back to Dubai. So the Bugatti wasn't in Romania anymore. So I think they're there for the Bugatti. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Shut up. Drag us to the living room, put me in there, put Tristan there, handcuff us. We sit there. Eventually the detective says we're here for human trafficking. I'm like, we've fucking done this already. And if you're here for human trafficking, why is it the girl who was in my bed, you didn't ask if she's okay? You fucking dragged her by her hair out of the bed and forced her onto the ground at gunpoint and asked about my Bugatti. What the fuck's that got to do with anything? We need to take your assets. But I thought we're here for human trafficking. And the girl you find in the house you beat the fuck out of and start asking me about my cars. They start to go through the entire house. This time they take the car keys. All our bank's accounts and all our crypto exchanges have already been deleted. Everything had been deleted back in the UK terror list. Assets. So they take all the cars. This is famous. Find the clips. All the cars on trucks. All the watches they took, which was about 600 grand. I had bought again because I had so much money. And they took them again. Now, I remember when they were searching the house, I had a big safe. You know, Jack, I am part black. So sometimes we do silly things like show off. And I had a safe with bulletproof glass at the front. So you could see all my nice things. You could see all the watches, see the piles of cash, see the gold. You could see it all. And the police were like, open the safe. So I don't have to open the safe. They said, you don't have to, but you're going to jail. And we are going to get in. So if it takes us a year to get in, we'll just tell the judge not to let you out of jail because we haven't been in your safe yet. I was like, you fucking cunt. I asked my lawyer. I look at my lawyer's like, that's what they're going to do. Decide to open the safe, bro. What can you do? Open the safe. Take out the fucking guns. They robbed me, take all my shit, take all my stuff. It's taking everything. They took the house itself, the deeds for the house, they took that. And during this seizure, I believe it was reported in the media, they took around 15 million American dollars of cars, houses, land, companies I had in Romania, all these things. They seized everything. And after this house search of looking for drugs, looking for steroids, all again, and the whole time I'm saying to the guys, what the fuck is going on? We've already done this, guys. She's a liar. We know she's a liar. We've already done this. We've been through the whole house. What's going on? They said the same thing as last time. You have to go to the decal office and talk to the prosecutor. I'm like, is it the same guy? They're like, you'll see. And at this point, you know, in my optimism, I must be stupid. I'm sitting there going, this must be a mistake. This is just Romania, you know, that prosecutor is probably retired and this file ended up on someone else's desk and they're just doing it all wrong. I'm going to go there and explain that she's a liar and that we were all laughing. We should have bought her handbags and ha ha ha. And last time I went to the decal office, I went home straight away. So surely this is just the same bullshit. So I walk out my house. They throw me in the police car in front of the media. I remember when they said, it's time to go, we searched the house. I said, can you bring the police car inside the gate and I'll get in there? They're like, no. I was like, see, why? You want to perp walk me in front of the media? And the guy goes, yes. I said, okay, cool, perp walk me. I don't give a fuck, I'm a gangster. So you can see the clip videos. You see me walk out with my hood up.
What media outlets were there? Was it just Gondor?
No, it was Romanian. It was Associated Press. It was everybody. Global. The world was there to watch this happen. Human trafficker, BBC News, who said I was the worst person in the world. All those NGO accounts who had posted about me. See, I told you he's been arrested for human trafficking. The entire fucking internet blows up. They drag me. I go to see the decal prosecutor. I sit there. And this time it's the same guy with about 5 other guys and a couple girls, 10 of them, all standing behind the desk. And I'm sitting in front of them. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And they say, by Romanian code in the article, blah, 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 you're under arrest for organized criminal group, head of a mafia gang, witness intimidation, arms trafficking, human trafficking, rape, assault, like 21. I'm like, for fucking what? Well, how do you plead? I'm like, well, I'm not guilty, obviously. This is bullshit. And they're like, what do you have to say about the crime of human trafficking? I'm like, nothing. It's made up. What do you have to say about the crime of assault? I'm like, assault who, bro? What are you talking about? So I got an argument with the decal guys. My lawyer says to me, he goes, Andrew, there's no point arguing with them. We have to talk to the judge. There's nothing we can do. Forget about it. Just chill. Just chill. At the end of it, he goes, and we recommend detention. So I was like, so I don't get to go home? Like last time? They're like, no, you're going to jail. And that's the clip where they take me out of the decal office and the armed guards walk me into the police car where I say,
the Matrix has attacked me.
There's a clip of me walking and I say, the Matrix has attacked me. And I get taken to prison. In between Christmas and New Year. I'm very excited to find out what the fuck I'm in jail for. Now, in retrospect, what's really interesting, and I want everyone to remember this later, after the initial April accusation by girl A, the case stayed open, like I called my lawyer and asked, but there wasn't a single entry in the case file. It was open on his desk without a single entry in the case file. And then warrants for surveillance started being added to the case file to spy on us the exact same day I was deleted. The same day that my phone was wiped. The same day the BBC said I was the worst person in the world. The same day that they said I had to be disappearing from social media. The same day they attacked me before my final message. The exact same day the Romanian prosecutor started requesting warrants from judges. So he got the call. The same day. So I'm in jail, and I'm handed the reason I'm in jail. And it's about this thick in Romania, which I don't fucking speak. And I said, yo, to the prison guard. By Romanian law, you have to tell me in my language. I don't speak Romanian. And the prison guard goes, it's Christmas. We don't have translator. And walked off. So I don't know why I'm in jail.
Do you have your phone?
No. I have no phone. I'm taken to jail. I'm given this pile of papers and I'm thrown in a cell. Romanian jail is exactly how you expect it to be. If you want to see what the inside of a Romanian jail is like, you can just look up the Russian jails. It's still Soviet. It's very similar. There's no yard time. There's no library. There's no interaction with other prisoners, really. Imagine you go to a bathroom and the door closes and you don't leave. It's about the size of a bathroom. There's cockroaches all over. It's old. It's dirty. The infestation of bugs is fucking vile. Not that I'm squeamish. I'm not a girl. But it's just disgusting. And you're in a bathroom. There's a tiny window about the size of a plate. And there's an artificial light that doesn't turn off. That's Romanian jail. So I'm thrown in this cell, and I'm saying to my lawyer, what the fuck's going on, Alan? And he's like, I have to read the file. My lawyer's like, oh, let me read it. It's this big. And he's flicking through it and going, this is all garbage. What is this? It's garbage. They're saying that 2 girls, your girlfriends, you human trafficked them on TikTok. You made them do TikTok for money. But I can't find any transfers of money. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, so how the fuck do I get out of here? Ask the girls. And the girls, please play the videos, Betty and Yasmina, do videos in my defense.
I've never seen any of them being aggressive or rude.
Ai fost amenințată?
No.
The 2 girls are like, what the fuck? We just have TikTok like every other girl on the planet. He didn't make us do TikTok for money. What are you talking about? They made this up. And they were on my side. This is the thing that's so annoying about my story. Everyone goes, oh yeah, but the girls accused him. No one's ever accused me of anything besides the girl I said hi to twice in my life. Girl A. The girls that they threw me in jail for human trafficking on TikTok were on my side, defending me. And the next 3 months is the story everyone watched of me in jail. The entire media blowing up, insulting me. They took all my money, they thought. They took my ability to speak back, they thought. But of course, I'm smarter than the average bear, and I have money hidden, and I also have 28,000 fan accounts. So there's this media war of the mainstream media saying I'm a human trafficker, and all my fan pages and my Twitter constantly releasing information that I'm not a human trafficker, and the videos of all the girls defending me, the victims in the case. Those girls are now making videos defending me. And this was very frustrating for the authorities in Romania, because normally when you take someone's social media and you take his bank accounts, you throw him in jail, you win the media war. What can he say, right? But not with me. All of a sudden, the videos of the victims are on the internet saying, this is a fucking setup, this is corruption. And I've already told the story at length on other podcasts, Patrick Bet David and such, and I encourage people to watch it, of my experience in jail. And I could talk for the next 2 days about all the micro stories that happened while I was in jail. But for continuity, I won't do that.
Before we move on, I do want to ask, were you Greta? Was there anything with Greta Thunberg in the pizza box, or was that just made up?
I think it was all just made up.
Okay.
They knew where I lived. They knew where I lived. I think it was just bad timing. I think that was literally the night before I was arrested. It may have been.
I don't know if you want to answer the suicide letters.
We're going to get into that.
Okay.
So I'm in jail, and I told endless stories of jail. And the basic premise is that Tristan, in his beautiful, truly remarkable forever optimism, thinks it's funny. It's a Matrix attack. It's hilarious. And I've told the stories how he didn't care about jail, didn't give a shit. And I'm trying to get out. Every 30 days, when I first went there, I look at this hellhole, and I had two lawyers. I had Alan, who's a guy I've known for a very long time, who most people see, and I had an older lawyer. His name was Gliga, and he had been part of the system for a really long time. And I said to Alan, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And he said, well, don't worry, DCAUT have put you in jail for a day, but after a day, they have to convince a judge to let you go. So I do 1 day in jail, and then we go in front of the judge. And Alan stands up and goes, inside this entire file, which I've been up all night reading, they're accusing Andrew Tate, a man with money, of human trafficking 2 girls on TikTok. They can't prove any money was made on TikTok. They can't prove any transfers went to Andrew from TikTok. And the 2 girls says he didn't do it. So can Andrew go home now? He presents it all to the judge. And the judge is like, yeah, this doesn't really make sense. And she's kind of confused. She's asking lots of questions back in Iranian, like, what do you mean TikTok? Everyone has TikTok. He's like, yeah, exactly. This is stupid. So at the end of all this, she goes, I have to go make my decision. And at the end of it, I said to Alan, what happens if we go to jail? He goes, there's no way you're going to jail. I was like, why not? He goes, I've been doing this 10 years. I've never seen a case this stupid. There's no way you're going to jail. I was like, you sure? But what happens if we do? He goes, you're not going to jail. And you know what was weird? When he started saying that, I just knew I was going to jail. You know when someone's like so sure? I'm like, I just sit there and I was just like, we're going to go, aren't we? We're going to go. And the judge, who looked really understanding and was, listening to us about TikTok, etc., she goes out the back for an hour or so, gets the phone call, which we'll talk about later, comes back out and says, jail, detention, 30 days, and walks straight off. Guys jump on me, handcuffs straight me to jail, throw me back in the fucking cell. And I can't believe it. And I'm saying to Alan, what the fuck is going on? Now he's like, I don't know. I've never seen corruption like this. Your case doesn't make any sense. I don't know where this is coming from. I have to find out where this is coming from. This is corruption. I'm like, I know this is corruption. What the fuck is happening? So my first week in jail, and I've already told a lot of stories, but I just want to tell some important points for the story. My first week in jail, I come to the conclusion that the Romanian system is a fucking setup, and that these clowns, these prosecutors and fucking idiots who know I'm innocent, have set me up to shake me down and steal my money. So I need to get out without using Romanian means. So what do? Well, I do 3 things. The first thing I do is I call the British embassy. I'm British. Second thing I do is I call the American embassy. I'm American. And the third thing I do is I request for my international legal teams to fly in to see me. And things happen in that order. The British embassy sends somebody to come and see me in Romanian jail. And I get taken from my cell and get taken to the room. And the lady from the British embassy's there. And she's like, hello. I'm like, hi. So yeah, I've been set up in Romania. She goes, yeah, a lot of people get arrested around the world. So I just want you to know that consular support is pretty limited. And I have a leaflet for you. It's gov.uk leaflet about what happens when you're arrested abroad. And any information you need is there. I was like, okay, yeah, but this is a corrupt setup. So who do I speak to? She's like, I just have to give you the leaflet. Nice to meet you. I walked off. That was the British consular support. Took me back to my cell with this fucking leaflet. Gov.uk. If you're arrested abroad, what to do? Like this fucking garbage. So it's like, fuck the English. They're useless anyway. No one gives a fuck what England says. Let me wait for the Americans. I'm an American citizen. And I'm there and I'm talking to the prison guards. And the prison guards know I'm innocent. They're like, what are you doing here? Because everyone knows me in Romania. I'm famous. I'm like, bro, you fucking tell me. And they're like, you've upset someone. I'm like, who? They're like, I don't know, but there's no reason for you to be here. This is bullshit. It's Romania. It's bullshit. You upset someone. I'm like, who did I upset? Is it the guy whose land I didn't buy? Like, what's going on? Going through my head. Anyway, they said, an American has never been arrested in Romania before. I was like, really? He goes, yes, actually, we had an American guy here before. He stabbed 2 people. And he went home in 3 days, back to America. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, Romania's not going to arrest Americans. I was like, so I'm going to go home? They're like, for sure. I said, well, he stabbed 2 people and he got out. I supposedly fucking stole TikTok money, so I'm sure I'm going to get out. So I'm really excited for the American embassy to turn up. American embassy turns up. I walk in there. I'm like, guys, thank fuck. Real humans. No more Romanians. I'm an American. You're a fucking American. This is bullshit. U.S. Constitution. This is fucking garbage. And they're like, yeah, the American government considers Romania to be a real legal system and that we respect the sanctity of the legal system and we believe that you have to go through the legal system. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? This is a setup and a corrupt dump. We all know it's corrupt. On the corruption index, we're at the same level as Zambia. That's not a lie. Look it up. Romania is considered a hybrid state. There's 4 states of a democracy. You have democracy at the top. You have flawed democracy. Then you have hybrid state. Then you have authoritarianism. Hybrid state is the same as Zambia. The Romanian system is considered at Zambian level. And the American government is now telling me that we respect the Romanian judicial system and believe that you have to go through the process. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? How long am I going to be here? He goes, Andrew, I like you. And, I'm just here to do my job. And I've been around, but I think you need to prepare for quite a long stay. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean a long stay? I haven't fucking done anything. He goes, yeah, there's nothing really the American government's prepared to do for you. I'm like, what do you mean prepared? What can you do? He goes, well, what we can do and what we're prepared to do, they're different things. And we're not prepared to do much for you right now. So here's a leaflet. So I take the American leaflet about being arrested abroad, and the American government leaves me. And I go back to jail. And then I spend my first month in jail. And at the end of the first month, we go to a judge and we ask to leave. And she says, no, you go back to jail. On repeat, I keep going back to jail. No matter what we would say to these judges, keep going back to jail. Now, the third part of this story is, the third thing I said I was going to do is invite my international legal team. I have King's Counsel lawyers from London, the best of the fucking best, old school, real G's. I was like, maybe you know what? The embassy sold me out. Maybe the British lawyers. My British lawyers are due to come see me. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. I'm sitting in jail. I really, for everyone watching this at home, if you want to experience this, put your phone away, give your phone to someone else, and go sit in the bathroom for an hour. I did 4 months. Try an hour. Just sit there. Sitting there, staring at the fucking clock like fucking sit there. 7 p.m. comes, they don't turn up. My lawyers don't turn up. What the fuck? My lawyers don't turn up. I got on the phone. What the fuck's going on? Eventually I hear, when my British lawyers landed in Bucharest, someone from the British embassy was waiting for them and said, these boys are done. Don't waste your time. You're not going to go see these boys. This is a national security issue. Go home. Why the fuck is the British government sending people from the British embassy in Romania to wait for my British lawyers and telling them that I'm a national security threat and I can't see my fucking lawyer? What the fuck is that? They told my lawyers to fuck off out of Romania and that we're a national security issue and that we're toast. We're wrapped up. We're done. Don't waste your fucking time. That's why my lawyers didn't come see me, because the British government blocked it. After 4 months, when I'd really lost all hope, we went in front of a judge. And the judge asked some questions to our lawyer, and our lawyer explained how it's bullshit as usual. And this judge is one of the best in Romania, because a member of her family, I believe, I don't know exactly, and I don't want to talk about anyone else's personal business. There was actually 3 judges on the panel. One of these judges, I can't remember who, had a member of their family who did 8 years for a political case. He was innocent and did a political case. I think it was her cousin or something. So she became a judge to restore integrity to the Romanian system. And they've tried to promote her to the European Court many times, and she won't go because it's a promotion to get rid of her. Anyway, she asked some questions, whatever. This is at 10 a.m. And we went back to jail. And normally when you're in jail, you go to court, you go back to jail, and you wait for the decision over the phone. They don't tell you in court. And within 40 minutes, your lawyer calls you in your jail and says, you're staying in jail. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., no answer. Midday, no answer. 1 p.m., no answer. 2 p.m., no answer. 3 p.m., no answer. I start calling my lawyer. What are they saying? Don't know. They're not telling us. Well, that's weird. He goes, yeah, maybe she has other work. 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., they announce on the news I'm going home. I call my lawyer. Is it fucking true? Is it true? The whole jail started screaming. Frati means brother. Frati Tate, Frati Tate. The whole jail screaming for me and Tristan. Frati Tate, you go home. Frati Tate, you're the best, you're the best. We were just like, fuck it, I couldn't fucking believe it. We had a little party in our cell. We drank our last water. We used our last mouthwash. We had a little fucking party of all the things we had rationed for the month. I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's over. Like fucking 4 months. This fucking liar, these fucking prosecutors who know I'm innocent, all my stolen stuff, it's fucking finally fucking over. I'm in my cell and I'm just like, I can't even say it was the happiest day of my life. It was kind of like, imagine you get hit by a car. You know in those movies when people get hit by a car and then they pop up and they're a ghost? You know? That's what it felt like. It's like, poof, like, Like, what the fuck? So I get to leave this fucking room? I've been in this fucking room for 4 months? I get to leave this room and go home? Is my house still there? Like, it's like, what the fuck? And they said we're going to leave. And my lawyer now believes that she made the announcement late at night on purpose to avoid the government from stopping it or blocking it. Everyone had gone home from their civil service offices. The president had gone home. So she delayed it to actually let us out. Because if she would have announced at 10 a.m., the president would have gone on the phone to the Brits and they would have fucking stopped it somehow. It's thank fucking God, I haven't done anything. So God bless that judge, whoever it was.
So they cycle the judges every month and you happen to get that one that month?
It's a lottery.
Right.
Okay. It's a judge lottery. And often you have 3 or 4 judges on a panel. It was 3 judges this time. I don't know which one it was. And this is the video that everyone saw of me walking out the jail with a long beard. And I walk out and I look up to the sky. You know, when I was in jail, after the US government sold me out and left me there, and I told the guards, I just saw the American embassy. They didn't give a shit. They're like, that can't be true. I was like, they didn't give a shit. He goes, we've arrested and had about 20 or 30 Americans in jail overnight. No one stays here. The guy who stabbed people did 3 days at most to go home. We've never seen this. I was like, so why does that happen to me? And they looked sad. They looked somber. They were like, I don't know who you've upset, but this is bad. I'm like, why is it bad? He goes, this is Romania, bro. People have been in jail for 5 or 6, 7, 8 years, no trial. I'm like, you fucking serious? He goes, yeah, by Romanian law, they can hold you for up to 50% of the total maximum sentence of a crime that you're suspected of. And because I had 21 crimes and they all had such long sentences, they could have held me for 50 years without trial. And without trial. Because I had a 100-year maximum sentence if I'm convicted. And I was like, all the guards had convinced me that my life was over. I had come to the point, Jack, where I'd look around the little room and just imagine growing old in the room. Like what? And I mean, before my school, I had 20 or $30 million, but now I had hundreds of millions. And before my school, I wasn't really that famous, and now I got famous. So please imagine, I went from nice, comfortable life, fringe internet celebrity, to globally famous and properly rich for like 5 months at most. And now I'm in this room forever. That's the end of the story. I just fucking got started. I just enjoyed my life for the first time. And I used to literally look around that room, imagine growing old in that room, just thinking, what the fuck can I do? And I'd ask the guards so many questions, and they're like, bro, I wish I could help you, but you've already asked me this. They can hold you for 50% of the maximum sentence. Your paperwork says a maximum of 111 years. They can keep you here for 50 years. I don't know why the American government has helped you. You have to call the embassy again. No American stays in Romanian jail. No American. Every American gets out. You have to call them again. And I'm calling the embassy 3 times a day, and they're just ignoring my calls now at this point. They're like, fuck you. They just wouldn't answer me. I thought it was done. So when I got out, when I look up to the sky, like you can see on that video, I didn't think I'd ever see the sky again. I don't have yard time. I don't have exercise time. I was in a bathroom. I didn't see the sky for 4 months. And I looked up at the sky and I just thanked God. I really thought I'd never see the sky again. And then I drove home. And when I got home, my emotion changed. Because when I got back home, I remembered that none of this should have fucking happened to me. And that's when I got mad. When I got home, I got really angry. And that's when I made that video, the famous video of me walking up and down, smoking the cigar, because I had learned this habit in jail of pacing. And it took me 7 months to break. For the next 7 months, I was pacing all the time. My girlfriends would be like, Andrew, sit down. But I just paced like a fucking caged dog back and forth. For 4 months, I just paced up and down. So I'm in my living room, I'm just pacing up and down. I'm starting to all go through my head. Wait a fucking second. I'm glad to be out. Yes, I get to see the sky. Whoa. I should have never fucking been there. I started a school teaching fucking econ. I haven't done anything. This bitch fucking lied. Where's my fucking stuff? I haven't been to the UK. I'm not a terrorist. I haven't fucking blown anything up. Those prosecutors know they're fucking lying. Why is my school fucked? Because when I was in jail, not only did they hit me, they hit the fucking school. Because all of my problems, Jack, All of this is about the fucking school. I had my domain name deleted. Yeah, they deleted my Stripe. Yes, they banned us on Discord. Fine. I'm an entrepreneurial man. I got the best people on the planet. I go to the war room. We build our own payment processor. We buy our own bank in Lithuania. We build our own software. Fuck Discord, custom school. We build everything ourselves. We launch it all on our domain, hustlesuniversity.ai. The British government writes to the Antigans who own the .ai domain name and say it's a website for terrorism. They delete our fucking domain. Name someone else on the planet who has their domain wiped. You type the domain in, seized, terror. The fuck? Had to get a new domain name, relaunched the whole fucking school. I just got out of jail, I got PTSD, I'm still fucking laying in bed looking for cockroaches all the fucking time. And my whole fucking school's fucked. But they've taken all my fucking money. Yeah, I have money hidden, but I need to fucking fight legal bills, legal fees, kids need to eat. So I need to get to school, I want money. What else am I gonna do? I'm locked in my fucking house. And also, I'm like, fuck these people. Because the school's how I defend myself, because that's the 28,000 Clippers. Let's get the fucking school back online. So I go to house arrest, I get fucking mad, and I'm like, okay, a few things have to happen. Firstly, I'm not a vengeful man, but I do believe in justice. So you know what the first thing I'm gonna do is? I'm gonna sue Girl A. We're gonna come back to that later. Hopefully that'll be televised because it's coming shortly. Unless they fucking kill me first, which is why I'm getting the messages I'm getting now, which is why we're doing this video. Because Girl A is being sued. So we have the lawsuit against Girl A in Florida, where she's from. No Romanian courts, an American court. It's not perfect, but it's the best chance we got. So we got the lawsuit against Girl A in Florida. First thing I do is I fucking sue her. She lied. She knows she lied. The Romanian state is corrupt. They stole my fucking stuff. They destroyed my fucking business. They destroyed my mental health. They put me in a fucking cell. They've ruined my reputation. They kept me from my fucking kids. Sue her. Why not? It's the first thing we do. Second thing we do is start trying to get the school back online. And you know what? In my ignorance, even still at this point, I believe it's almost the end of the story. I'm walking up and down pacing and they're like, you're on house arrest. I'm like, They're just trying to get the public ready for my release. Soften it little by little, not just to let me 100% free. They're afraid I'm going to fly away out of Romania or something. Couple months of house arrest, right? No big deal. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So I'm locked in my house month on month, on month, on month. And this is when my brother and I are doing the emergency meeting podcast. Our first emergency meeting we did after jail had 500,000 live views. 500,000 live. And after I did that podcast, my first emergency meeting, there were 500,000 live viewers, and we talked about what they did to us in jail. We said the Romanian state are full of shit and they're corrupt, and it's a fucking lie. My lawyer rushed to my house in the middle of the night. Comes to my house. He goes, Andrew. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes, Andrew, listen to me. You have to listen to me. I'm like, what? He goes, nobody in history has ever spoken against the Romanian state and survived. You cannot call judges corrupt. You cannot call the system corrupt. You have to say, I respect the system. I look forward to a good decision in the end. I'll participate with the system. We have to let everyone forget about this. And when everyone forgets, they're going to drop their corrupt case. It's going to go away. If you embarrass the Romanian state, they're going to fucking bury you. The last guy who tried this in 1997 got 35 years in Rahova, the worst jail in Europe. You're never going to survive it. And I said to Alan, I was like, but I look fucking guilty. They fucking slandered me everywhere. I look fucking guilty. If I shut up, I look guilty. I can't just be quiet. He goes, you're going to make my job impossible, Andrew, if you talk. You have to stop doing these emergency meetings. You have to be quiet. Me, him, and Tristan sat there and I said, Alan, if I shut up and they lock me up, I'm going to torture myself back in that room thinking I had a chance to tell the truth about how corrupt this is. But if I tell the truth how corrupt it is and they lock me up, I'll know I went down swinging. Look, I just lost a fight. I'm not saying I always win, but I don't quit. And I said, Alan, your job's going to be hard. Because fuck them. They fucking ruined my life. I can't sleep. That's fine. There's 2 foot in the videos of all the tweets I was making. I had fucking nightmares. I couldn't lay in a bed without looking for fucking cockroaches. I couldn't have a blanket on me. I was fucked. If therapy was a real thing, I would have needed it. I was a fucking mess. And I was like, no, it's fucking war. It's fucking war. We're doing it. So we started doing our emergency podcasts, emergency meeting. Romania's corrupt. This is a setup. Here's the victim saying that we haven't done anything wrong. The fucking prosecutor's a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. Fuck this dump. Fuck the cops. Fuck you. And just tell them the truth. Unfazed. Last bullet.
They looked at us and thought they have too much power, too much influence. Let's hit them with the most powerful weapon we have. Let's cancel them. Let's close all their accounts. Let's make them vanish. Let's destroy their influence. That's the biggest bullet they have. Imagine shooting a man with your last bullet and he stands there unfazed.
Fuck you. Going down swinging.
I want to point out, too, that I'm sure you thought about while you were in jail, maybe we should stop this whole affiliate campaign. Maybe the whole thing is they want me to go away, stop posting on social media.
Of course.
But you kept it running.
I thought that before jail. When I did my final message, I decided to give up. Enough is enough. But then Tristan was like, no, fuck that. And you know one thing about Tristan and I? We ride into battle together. If Tristan and I are in a nightclub and he says, this guy's annoying me, I'm going to hit him. I say, don't hit him. And then he hits him. Then I'm hitting him. That's how it goes. Tristan said, let's war. So I wanted to quit back when I made my final message. It was called The Final Message. That was the end. I had enough money. That was the end of it all. But after they put me through jail and all these things, and because my reputation was in the fucking gutter when I got out of jail, I was like, no, my best way to fight back is to tell the truth on emergency meeting podcasts and use my affiliate army to spread the truth. I'm not lying to anybody. Tell everyone what fucking happened. UK State was behind all this fucking shit anyway. Which is interesting because when I'm on house arrest, the BBC start calling me. They call Alan first. Alan goes, the BBC want an interview. I'm like, nah, not doing it. He goes, no, they really want an interview. Maybe you should talk to her. It's like, who is it? Lucy. Hello? Hi, my name's Lucy Williams. I'm like, hi, Lucy, nice to meet you. Hi, so we want to do an interview. I'm like, I don't think interviews are the right thing for me to do this time. Oh, no, actually, I think you'd be interested in this one. I said, why? The Romanian state is really well known to be corrupt, and there's a lot of conversations about the corruption in the Romanian state, and we've looked up Chedo. And it turns out that the Romanian government pays hundreds of millions of dollars a year in fines to the European Union for how unsafe and unfair their jails are, because you're actually held in worse conditions than farm animals are held. They can't hold a pig in the place they held you by law, a pig that gets slaughtered. And what happens to people in Romanian jails is disgusting. So we want to talk about the corruption of the Romanian state and how bad the jails are. I'm like, you do? She goes, of course. You haven't been convicted, have you? I'm like, no, I haven't. She goes, exactly. And it should be innocent until proven guilty. I'm like, you're right, Lucy. You should be that. She goes, well, so I'm hoping we can fly over. I'm like, come over. Sure. Yeah, great. So Tristan, the BBC are going to run a point about how corrupt these fucking dickhead Romanians are, how we were held worse than farm animals, and how it's all a fucking setup. Tristan's like, that's good. I'm like, yeah, it is fucking good. Finally, we can fix the fucking narrative. Hi, Lucy. Nice to meet you. Oh, nice to meet you. Hi. Everyone sits down today. So are you a racist? No.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women?
Absolutely not. This girl said you're a racist. And instantly I was like, they set me up. They told me it was going to be an interview about something completely else. And they know I have mental issues. And they know I'm not sleeping. And they know I'm locked in my fucking house. And they fucking hijinxed me. And they've set me up to just make me fuck up on camera and make me look guilty. But you know, in my genius, I filmed the whole thing myself, just in case. And that's when I said to her, I said, Lucy, put this clip in. Lucy, don't come here like you have authority over me. Don't ask the questions to hear the Gestapo. You don't have a badge. You're in my home. And we're two people here.
Please him and wanting him to be happy, that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she accused me of a crime, this imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is...
Has she accused me of a crime?
Emotional or psychological manipulation.
I asked you a question and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct, but you're not the boss here because I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you the question.
Correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answer.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you. You're a person, I'm a person. You're not better than me. You're not above me. You can't talk to me from a position of authority. If you ask me questions, I'll ask you whatever I want in my house. And I watched her piss her little pants. So I made a fool of Lucy. Now, I was only at a fraction of my powers. I have to be honest, they fucking got me, bro. My head was all over the place. I was at a fraction of my powers because even when I'm on house arrest, my lawyers are constantly calling me saying they can recall you to jail anytime. Stop doing the emergency meetings. They can recall you to jail. Stop having your girlfriend over. Stop seeing your kid. If they know you're seeing your kid, that just all this trying to ruin my, I'm like, fucking just put me back in jail then. But being told you might go back is like worse than going back. Like you're just sitting there. Every time a car drives down the road, you're like, is that the cops? Like you're fucked, right? And this fucking Lucy turns up with this hijinks, this fucking trick, but it doesn't work. And I released a whole uncut video. She looks like a fool. Even at a fraction of my powers, I destroyed her, which really pissed off the British government. They got really mad because after the Lucy BBC interaction, while I'm locked in my house, I start getting letters trying to convince me to kill myself. It started off as DMs on Twitter from fake accounts. And then it would grow into emails. And then I started getting handwritten letters written by psychologists. And I don't know they were psychologists, but I assume they had to have been because I've never read something so enthralling. I was never going to kill myself, but it was enthralling to read. It was interesting to read. And it was trying to convince me that my life was effectively over and that if I martyr myself, I get to go out as a hero because of what the state has done to me, as opposed to being ground down by the state in a war I can't win to the point where I wish I did it. And that by the time I eventually kill myself, no one's going to care. So do it while people care. And they mentioned my kids, who no one knows the names of. They mentioned the names of the mothers of my kids. And these fake accounts on Twitter who pose to be haters, who know everything about the case, everything about my children, everything about the mothers of my children. They are fully fed the case file. They have the case file. They have all this information that are coming from these letters, trying to convince me to kill myself. I'm getting a letter every day saying, Andrew, you're going to kill yourself effectively. You're going to do it in the end anyway. Don't do it when no one cares. Go out like a hero. You've always been a hero. You can stay a hero for eternity. Just kill yourself. And then my girlfriends start getting messages. My girlfriends and the mothers of my kids get messages. Leave Andrew. He's only going to drag your life down. You can use the government to get money from him. Go and report him for abuse. Accuse him of abuse. Sue him for money. You can get money from him. Why are you with this scumbag? Why are you staying beside him? His life is over. He's never going to be able to give you a good life. The only chance of a good life is to take his money and go find another man. My main chicks are getting these messages. The mothers of my kids are getting these messages, convincing them. And I know my women love me, but women are susceptible to pressure and psyops. They cry, and they come to me crying. Do you think you will get out of this? I'm like, don't fucking start breaking now. That's what they want. They want you to give up hope so that you leave. Because they realize they couldn't get to me, so they start going for all the women around me. TikTok accounts of my girlfriend and making fun of her. She's a whore. She's a whore. One day she'll leave Andrew. Everywhere. And no matter how many times they get deleted, new ones pop up. New ones pop up. That was all funded by an NGO. And we're going to come back to this NGO. There's an NGO linked to Girl A, which we're going to come back to later. Ninja.
What was the word in the letter that you interested or repeated?
It was different on different podcasts, but I'm going to find one and find you an exact example of it so you can place it here, because every time they'd send me a suicide letter, next time I did an emergency meeting, I would specifically say a word from the letter, an unusual word, so they knew I read it and they knew I was talking to them saying no. I'd say it directly before or after I told them how I was unfucking phased.
Because I tell you something, when your progeny, when your grandchildren come up to you and say, why are we brokies, Dad? If you're looking for a group of men who are on the journey to become the kind of men we talk about, and also men who are already at the pinnacle, the highest echelons of masculine accountability and capability, that's what the war room is. All of these systems which are designed to create good citizens of a respectable society and preserve sanctimonium amongst the populace are actually corrupted and gay.
But I'm not going to lie, they got to the women around me. Women around me were more suicidal than I was because they're just under so much pressure. Even imagine you got my daughter, you're the mother of my kid, and you're living a normal life. You don't have social media. You're a good woman. You don't go clubs. You don't go parties. You don't have social media. You don't show off. You're a nice, normal woman. and you're getting letters with pictures of with the name of your child and saying your child's life's over and all this shit. Like, what the fuck? This is the British government, by the way, the good guys. This is the good guys doing this, trying to convince women to kill. They didn't tell the women to kill themselves. Trying to convince the women to leave me and take my money because I'm going to kill myself. This is the good guys, the good UK state. The people who didn't give a fuck about the grooming gangs, these fucking scumbags. It was all from the government. We're going to get there in the end. That all started after I destroyed the BBC because I beat them in their narrative war. And the entire world is just a battle for influence. That's all it is. And I had more influence than the BBC. You can't be one man with 28,000 fan pages with more influence than the BBC, causing young men to stick up for themselves in a state which is trying to extract resource from the young men and ruin their lives. The average man's life in England sucks. It's shit. They pay taxes. They're losing their country. They can't fucking do anything, go anywhere. They just build the roads, and then they're told they have to go die in addition Ukraine. It's over. Me telling them to stand up for themselves was considered an act of resistance against the enslavement. So the UK government's like, oh, just convince them to kill themselves. And in my darkest hours, I'd lay in bed. I'd fuck my girlfriend and then she'd fall asleep and I'd just lay there and I'd be tossing and turning and I'd be fucking staring at the wall and night sweats. I'd just be a fucking mess. I'd get up and start pacing around my bedroom like a fucking psycho, just pacing up and down my bedroom. And I'd end up picking up one of the notes and reading the letter, just pacing up and down. And it's my stubbornness who was like, whoever wrote this is going to have to explain to their boss why I didn't do it. So, they never got close to convincing me because I'm so stubborn, Jack. No matter how suicidal I would have ever felt, I knew my life annoyed them. And that's when I'd read it, and then I'd be up all night, 48 hours, no sleep. And then I'd go into the garden, and there's a video of me on a Bugatti scooter with Tristan in the garden doing circles. Please play the video. It was after that night. I was like, they're checking my social media to see, because I got a new letter today that I haven't posted in 12 hours. And I just had the Romanian news is saying they might have to re-imprison me. And all this pressure's on me, all this heat's on me. And the BBC saying, and the BBC saying bad things, and I'm feeling the heat. They're going to wait and see what the next thing I post is. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm on a scooter with Tristan. Fuck you. Because I'm stubborn. Now we're making this video. I'll be honest, it was getting to me. But I don't believe in mercy. I don't believe my enemies are ever going to have mercy, so I don't ask for it. My dad didn't raise me that way. I wasn't raised to believe that if you're weak enough, people will feel sorry for you. I don't believe that's how the life works. I don't think if you go in front of your enemies and go, I'm a little bitch, please, that they're going to do anything other than destroy you. They're going to destroy you anyway.
That's when they double down, usually.
Of course. I'm like, fucking do it.
Why did you read the letters so many times?
Because they were so well written. They were so well written, Jack. It was a beautiful use of the English language. It was beautifully written. It was convincing. It had all the trigger points. My masculinity, my ego, how I'll be a hero, how we all die in the end, how my life's already over, how it's better for the people I care about, how it's going to be good for my image. Like, it had all the psychologists did a great job. They profiled me. They watched my stuff. They wrote it all down. All the group of fucking psychologists in MI6, GCHQ, they did a fucking great fucking job. It was flawless writing.
Do you have a line?
I have a letter. And I'll make sure you get one. Leave it to me. Because they're in a secure location in case something happens. But I'll make sure you get a letter. And you can read the whole thing. So then I'm in my house, 6 months of house arrest by now. And let's analyze the battlefield before we move on to the next stage. I've been to jail. They failed to keep me in prison because of one honest judge. I'm now on house arrest. I'm telling the truth. Nobody believes them anymore. The victims are on my side. I have more influence than them. I've destroyed the BBC. They're trying to starve me out, but they keep asking me. And the prosecutor keeps asking me. Drags me into DCAW office, which I'd have to go to once every couple of weeks and say, you're on house arrest. By Romanian law, on house arrest, you have to explain how you're feeding yourself. Where's your money from? It's like, oh, Alan lends it to me. I'm in debt. No, well, I'll put you back in jail. Put me back in jail then. Do it. Pussy bitch. Put me in jail. Give a fuck. Alan lends me money. Alan's like, yep, I lend him money. Where's your money? Where's your money? Where's your money? Because remember, human trafficking, but they beat the girls in my house up and ask about the Bugatti. Yeah, human trafficking, right? Fucking stealing. So I wouldn't tell them where my money was. So they're trying to starve me out. And if you actually watch, I don't know if you remember, back then, eventually, house arrest ends. They said house arrest is over. And I put a video up saying, my first free day from house arrest. But I've decided to stay in tonight. Didn't even leave the house on my first day free. Had a nice dinner with my friends. And the next day, my brother and I got a brand new Porsche GT4 RS and a McLaren 765 LT in purple delivered to our house. Why? Rich and shit. They got fucking mad. So we had those cars delivered on our first day and start driving around Bucharest. Alan calls me, DCOT wants to see you. Like, surprise, surprise. We go to the DCOT office. Where are these cars from? I rented them. They're not rented, so they're not mine. Run the number plates. Some genius, some fucking genius started a rental company in Portugal and bought a bunch of assets under this Portuguese company. And he was so nice, he'd rent them to me for €1 a week. What a nice guy. Never met him. Don't know his name. So they're like, well, we need to talk to the rental company. I'm like, go Portugal. I'm just renting the car. Here's my rental contract. €1 a week. They get fucking angry because they know we still have money. And that's all they want, the money. While this is going on, there's DDoS attacks on the school every day. School under attack. But I'm now almost, Jack, I first got arrested in April. Then I had those 3 months. And then I went to jail in December. It's now July of the year after. I got out of jail in March. It's now July, August. It's been nearly a year since my deletion. And I'm still as big as ever. And after the year, I'm like, this must be coming to an end. One night, I'm in my house, and police turn up. But not armed like the last time, not full SWAT, just a normal police car. We have to talk to you. My security by now has been improved. I have like 10 dudes with guns. One of them comes in and goes, police are outside. They say they want to talk to you. Do you want to go? Or are we going to fucking have a shootout and make a big issue? I'm like, look, I'm a peaceful man. See what he wants to say. I go out there and he goes, Andrew? I was like, yeah. He goes, I want you to know I'm a fan and I respect you a lot. So I thank you very much. He goes, but I need to take you to the station. I said, why? He says, there is an extradition warrant for your arrest out of the United Kingdom. So what happens now? He goes, well, we have to go and talk about the warrant. Then we have to see if a judge is going to extradite you or not. And I was like, okay, so I go to jail? He goes, only for 1 day. I was like, why 1 day? He goes, because either they don't extradite you and you go home, or they do extradite you and you go to England. And you know what? I actually kind of felt relief. I was like, oh, so I might go England and all this Romania crap's over? Because all this case and this bullshit is still ongoing. It's still in the court. I still have these court dates I'm going to, which you've seen. I used to walk in and out of court and fucking the DNG was there and all this bullshit. I'm still doing with all this Romanian crap. I'm like, oh, I get to go England and just fuck Romania off. I was like, you know what? That doesn't even bother me. I'm like, bro, cool, let's go to the station. So we go to the station. They take me there. He lied to me. He goes, yeah, you might go jail again. I'm like, whoa, that's not what you said. He goes, oh, well, the warrant says that they want to extradite you or at least jail you until you're extradited. I was like, okay, so now it's serious. What the fuck is this about? And they said, you have a warrant for assault in 2011. I said, assault who? It doesn't say. I said, where? It doesn't say. I said, what date? When in 2011? Doesn't say. So what does it say? He goes, assault 2011. I was like, that's it? He goes, yeah, that's it. So I was like, well, then how the fuck do I defend myself? It says assault 2011. What? Assault 2011. Where? When? Who? What circumstance? Male, female? I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. He goes, that's the warrant. So you have to see a judge to decide on extradition. You have to go to jail, and we're going to put you in front of a judge tomorrow morning. I go to jail, straight back. It's amazing. You know one of the most amazing things about PTSD? It's how quick you can get it back. and how hard it is to get rid of. You know, it stinks. When I went back in that cell, it was just like, I'm fucking back. I thought I'm back here. And in my paranoia, I was like, I'm never going to get out. It's going to be like last time where they say I'm going to leave after a day and then I'm stuck here for months. And I'm sitting and I'm starting to fucking, I don't panic. I don't believe in panic, but I'm starting to feel it. I'm like, I'm going to be fucking stuck here. I'm going to be stuck here again. And then at 7 a.m. in the morning, the guard comes, come on, court. And I was like, oh, well, at least they didn't just leave me here. So I was kind of relieved. And I go in front of the judge and the judge is like, yeah, there's an extradition warrant for assault in the United Kingdom in 2011. And whatever you say in court will be provided to the prosecutor. How do you plead? I was like, well, obviously I plead not guilty, but I don't know what the fuck this is because you're not giving me any details. I don't know what we're talking about. Can you give me some details? And the judge's like, blah, 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 in Romanian, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty empty. This is weird. I don't know. No one knows. Anyway, she goes, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to England? And I said, to be honest with you, part of me misses home, but I would like to fix this mess in Romania first because my reputation's been damaged. So I'd like to fix this mess. She goes, oh, you want to stay in our system? I said, I'm an innocent man. I'd like to fix the mess here. Then I'll deal with England. She said, okay. When your cases in Romania conclude, we'll extradite you to England. Until then, you're going to stay in Romania. And the warrant here wants you to be in jail until that day. But I like your attitude. I'm going to put you back on house arrest. So after 6 months of house arrest, I enjoyed those cars I bought for about a week. For now, I'm back locked in my house. But at least I'm not in jail. And the Brits are trying to extradite me. Now, the Brits are trying to extradite me because all of this began, and we're going to see at the end, from the UK. The UK Foreign Office, when they deleted me from everything and wiped my phone, wrote to the Romanians and said I was an unchecked source of influence, which started the prosecutor entering requests for warrants on the exact same day to get me arrested. I get arrested, I go to jail. They're slandering me on the BBC, but because of my affiliates, I have a larger voice than them. I get out of jail and start doing podcasts and telling the truth. Their narrative is falling apart. They send Lucy Williams with a setup. Lucy Williams gets wrecked. Now their entire narrative has collapsed. Everyone's on my side. I'm a hero. The UK panics and says, extradite, get him, get him, get him, and send an extradition warrant, which has failed. But I'm back in my house.
Because Romania doesn't work anymore for them because there's a chance.
Romania have always just been the attack dog. They're not the handler. Romania is just where I was and they're corrupt.
Do you think they were surprised that you got out in Romania?
100%. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. And to be honest with you, between you and I, Jack, of the 280 judges, if I didn't get that one judge, I wouldn't have got out. I might still be there now. The only judge in the system who everyone knows is fair. I could still be in that room. Wonder what I'd look like now. Wild, huh? So that's where we are. So the UK tries to extradite me. They need to get me off the internet. They need to stop the emergency meeting podcasts, and they need to stop the school. Because by now, please place inside of the video, the UK government are running stories about how Andrew Tate is banned from schools. Andrew Tate is misogynistic and young men don't listen to the female teachers in schools anymore. We're launching a program to stop Andrew Tate's influence in schools. The British government's panicking. And they're spending billions trying to deprogram men from my programming of go to the gym. Scary. While they let grooming gangs rape, while they let criminals steal, while they let murderers stab, while they let immigrants arrive, they're spending billions trying to stop me from telling young men to go to the gym. Members of Parliament, please play the clips. Please play the clips. Members of Parliament are standing up in Parliament twice a week saying, the biggest threat to the United Kingdom is Andrew Tate.
The effects of online influencer Andrew Tate's vile misogyny infiltrates our classrooms and society. Teachers are now having to develop their own resources to re-educate boys who are being brainwashed online by his deeply toxic messaging.
The Prime Minister, the primary threat to the UK is Andrew Tate.
Many young boys are exposed to Andrew Tate and many other things of the same type, which is, on the one hand, a sort of an attraction, but on the other hand, loaded with misogyny.
The Prime Minister all the problems of that country, everyone's talking about me. Now, the interesting question you have to ask yourself at home, what is my chance of a fair trial in the UK when the Prime Minister is saying I'm the biggest problem for the country? 0. They've just thrown away jury trials. So what's my chance of ever fucking beating the UK in anything? Fucking 0. That's why they tried to extradite me. But that judge puts me back on house arrest. The reason they requested jail until extradition is so that I couldn't speak on the internet. But I'm back on house arrest. So what do? Tristan, emergency meeting. We sit down and we start telling the truth about Keir Starmer f***ing Ukrainian rent boys, which he got caught doing, giving all their money away to Ukraine. UK's a fucking shithole, corrupt, Romania's corrupt, UK's corrupt, fuck you people. We start fucking gunning for them. Because what else are we going to do? Go down swinging. We start gunning for the UK government. We're on house arrest. A month house arrest. 2nd month house arrest. 3rd month house arrest. Just locked in our fucking house. On Twitter all day. On podcasts all day. Fixing the narrative. These counter accounts. These hater accounts who have the criminal file and doing all these podcasts and doing all this bullshit in their fucking Twitter spaces and constantly messaging out things, trying to fight their narrative. The UK government via NGOs is fighting their narrative. Us via our students and our soldiers in the school are fighting our narrative. Us on house arrest. The prosecutor saying, where's your fucking money from? We're telling him to get fucked and buying a new car every day just to piss him off, sitting there doing emergency meetings. Then, bang, 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 I hear the door. 5 a.m. But every time that we got raided, we galvanized our house against raids. However they got in the first time, they didn't get in the second time. This is raid number 3. So we got pretty good at it. We learned that they climb on the roof, so we put bulletproof glass. We bought doors from Switzerland for banks, 135,000 euro. Blast proof. We've removed all the windows. People make fun of my house. He lives in a warehouse. Yep. Raid me, dare you. You live in a nice house with glass. It's nice and pretty. You're not safe. I am. Bang, bang. I hear it. I wake up. I say to my girl, I'm like, give me your phone. Give me your phone. She starts panicking, gives her phone. I'm like, wipe your phone. Because all they want is phones. Wipe my phone. Factory reset. Wipe your phone. Go outside. Tristan's walking down. I'm like, wipe your phones. Done. Laptops, wipe all our laptops, wipe, because all they want to see is fucking financial records, money, who we've been talking to, the school, how it works, wipe. We wipe everything, bang, bang, bang. And after about like 6-7 minutes, I was like, everyone wiped everything? Tristan goes, yeah. I was like, well, let's just chill. So we go in our cigar room, we sit there, say to my girl, coffee. She goes and makes us 2 coffees. We get a cigar, we light the cigars up, and we're watching on our screen, on the cameras, 30 police outside with the fucking baton, and they're taking turns. One will go till he's tired, pass on to the next one. And we sat there with our coffees, smoking our cigars, saying, we're so fucked, bro. Tristan's like, I know. I'm like, we're going back, aren't we? He goes, 100%. This is to be the 3rd time. There's no way we can keep getting out. They're going to fucking bang us up. I was like, I know. What are we going to do? He goes, it's a Matrix attack. It's got to ride it out. It's you and me. Always going to be you and me. We have to find a way to get into the same cell. We got to do the blood pressure trick again. Got to eat raw coffee, do the blood pressure trick. I talked about that on Patrick Bay. We can put that in.
And then I said to Tristan, I whispered in his ear, I was like, they bugged this cell. Let's prove it. So we started talking about Ireland. I said, I wonder if they found the assets in Ireland. They took everything in Romania. I wonder if they found the assets in Ireland. We talked about it for about a week. And then we saw it on the news. Investigation expanded to Ireland. Neither him or I have ever been to Ireland in our lives. Never been there. No connection to it. So I was like, look, told you. I was like, yeah. So we continued to talk shit. So that's why they put us together. So we had to kind of develop sign language in the cell. So we didn't talk very much because everything was being listened to, right?
Get back in the same cell. We'll do our push-ups and just keep fighting. This is the fucking Matrix, bro. We're an enemy. We're an enemy to their enslavement, and this is what it is. I was like, yeah, you're right. Having our coffee, smoking. After about 50 minutes, they still couldn't get in. Hi, Romanian police. Not many people know that they couldn't get in my house. Bang, bang. After about 50 minutes, it stopped banging, and we watched on the cameras, and they were all just standing around outside, flabbergasted. Like, we can't get in this guy's house. They climbed all over the roof. They tried to break the bulletproof glass. They tried to break the front door. They couldn't get in. So I'm sitting there, and then we see a big yellow digger, like a big JCB, like an excavator driving down the road. And I said, Tristan, they're going to knock the walls down. They're just going to ram through the walls of the house and come in that way. Tristan goes, well, that'll be funny. And I said, yeah, but do we really need to have our house destroyed? Our phones are wiped now. We've had our coffee. We've had our chat. We're mentally prepared. Let's just open the door. Tristan goes, they're going to be so pissed. I was like, I know, bro. And then my girlfriend goes, I'll